What's up, YouTube? Been a minute and the sun's already going down. Between the weather, the time change, work, and family being sick, it's been hard to get out and try to do much riding and get any video done. Now I'm out on the Fub King E6. I've had a few questions about this bike recently. People asking what I think, ultimately how it's held up. I still don't have a ton of miles on this bike, but the miles I do have on it, the miles I've rode on it, the miles that the girls have rode on it, bike seems to be holding up just fine. We haven't had any issues with it. Once I get up the street here, I'll pull over, give you a look at the bike. Now, I had a question just the other day about, out of the Chivalry, the Apex 1, and the Fub King E6, what's my favorite bike so far? And based on the styling, based on the amp hour capability at 40 amp hours, the 52 volts versus 48 volts of the Apex. Now the Chivalry is 60 volt. It does have an advantage there, but only has a 32 amp hour battery, whereas the Fub King has a 40 amp hour battery. So I still think if you calculate 52 volts and the 40 amp hours, you'd have more range capability. I like the style of this bike. I like the way it rides. I like the stance of it. And if it's got the best range capability, that definitely has a positive factor in my decision there. Definitely looking at getting a couple more bikes. It won't be immediately with the weather the way it is, cold weather coming in again, the time change. I get off of work and it's pretty much dark. You guys see, I just got off of work and it's almost dark. I don't know how much the GoPros picks it up, but it's definitely dark out. It's hard to get out and do much riding. But one I am definitely looking at is, I see that Frigo, they've had the X2, the X2 Pro. I saw they have a pre-order for later on this year for an X3. And based on the specs, it said it was a 72 volt, 50 amp hour. And it's got the same frame and styling as the X2, which is a 60 volt, I believe. 30 or 35, I don't want to tell y'all in truth. I'm not super familiar with the specs on the Frigo X2, but I know the battery's like a 30 amp hour. I think they have a 35 amp hour version, but they're a 60 volt. 72 volt, 50 amp hours is insane. And I believe that the X2 now is rated at 6,000 watts. And I'm pretty sure I saw the X3's gonna be rated at 8,000 watts. That bike was already like a 45 as an X2 with 60 volts and 6,000 watts was like a 45 mile an hour bike from videos I've watched. They're rating it at 56 at 8,000 watts on a 72 volt bike. That's nice. Price wise, it is a couple $100 more than the X2, but that wouldn't cause me to shy away for the specs it's going to have. So in the future, the two bikes I'm probably looking at picking up, I don't know which one will be first, is the Frigo X3 when it drops, because right now it's just pre-order only. And then the Cause Wheel, I think it's the R19, which is a 6,000 watt, 72 volt, 40 amp hour bike. So look for those in the future. Back to what I was saying, the Fub King, as of right now, the cheaper end of bikes, all the three bikes I've had videos about, are in the $1,500 range, and that's where I was really looking when I bought these bikes. I was looking for the bikes people weren't reviewing. I was looking for the bikes that weren't gonna break the bank. I wasn't looking for the Starkvargs or the Talarias. I was looking for stuff that was affordable, you know, the stuff that more people could obtain. And of the three bikes, I have to say the Fub King, every one of them has their drawbacks, but the Fub King has got to be my favorite out of the three. So to answer anybody's that had that question, it'd definitely be the Fub King. So if you went based on power, I still think the Chivalry's got the Apex and the Fub King beat. Styling, I don't really like the Chivalry as much as the Apex or the Fub King. The Fub King definitely has the best styling. I've said it a few times. It's going to have the range. It has better power than the Apex. If you're looking in this price range, I think this has the most sure-on Talaria look. Has a great seat, has a very long seat, a lot of real estate to sit on, a lot of real estate to move back and forth. I can get the front tire of this bike off the ground. I haven't had a chance to do much for off-road on this bike, and I know I've had questions about doing some trail riding on this bike. The season's changed, and again, I just have not had the opportunity. Next season or later on, going into spring, I'll probably have more opportunities when the weather's nice. Ooh, I was gonna go up this little hill, and this used to be just washed out sandstone, and somebody's come in and added some gravel to it. But the Fub King definitely climbed right up it. Looks like somebody's been dumping trash out here. That's wonderful. This was a really nice pond in the summertime. I had it in a video on the Apex, and it actually looks like somebody's been out here trashing the place, which is not what you want to see out for a ride. But I don't know how much you'll be able to see it here. It's a little bit dark. I don't know what the camera's showing, but there's the Fub King. Like I said, it's a great looking bike. Really like the style of this bike. Like the stance of it. It is a tall bike. It is the tallest of the three bikes. I don't know exactly by how much, but it definitely has the highest seat stance. So I'm 5'6", and I am not even close to flat foot on, you know, with both feet down. I'm about mid. I might be able to stretch and get my heels on the ground, but this bike would definitely be a struggle for a shorter rider. Walk you to the other side. I do see the chains off. I did some adjustment. I'll probably cut this part out of the video, but I did some adjustment on the derailleur because it was making a little bit of noise, and I think I adjusted it too far out, and it's thrown the chain off a few times, mainly when you back pedal, not when you forward pedal. Anyway, here's the bike. The few things I did was I had concerns about overheating the controller. I added some venting. We've talked about that in a video. I added some straps for the battery because the front of the batteries up here, they don't have a screw. Underneath them you have 3 screws this way, but they still got a little movement in the front. So I ordered these off of Amazon, bolted them down to the bike with the factory screws, added some Velcro. This one was a little bit easier because it's got a plate and I was able to wrap over the top and just bolt it down. Great looking bike. I don't know how well. I've never had it out after dark. don't know how well this headlight's going to be in the dark, so I probably need to get heading back, and that's what we're going to do. This bike, fully charged, sits at about 58 volts, and after a 4.3 mile trip, you saw we're at 55 volts. So we've dropped 3 volts in 4 miles, if the odometer on this thing's correct. I wouldn't shy away from buying this bike again, that's for sure. So I've talked like a lot already in this video. I feel like I probably talked a little bit too much, and I think I'm just gonna ride back, leave the camera on. We'll see how much of this footage, if it ends up on YouTube, how much of it's usable, how much video's up there. But appreciate anybody watching the videos, and like I said, I'm not ending the video yet, but I definitely appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoy whatever videos here. Hopefully I'll get some more video out soon. Hopefully I have some new bikes to show you. About 41. It is cool out. I've got a sweater on, I've got gloves. I definitely had to have a helmet on, or my ears would be miserable right now. You do lose some battery discharge capability when it's cooler out. I don't know how much effect that's having. I've seen a top speed of 43 miles an hour on the speedometer of this bike. About 42 on GPS. I'm gonna go ahead and take the long way back around. I may regret that, but we'll see what happens. Put a few miles on the bike, a little time on the bike. Maybe the last time I get to ride it for a little while. We'll see where the battery's at, see where the voltage is at, and you'll all see on the odometer what I see. If you watch the video as well, if you have any questions, I try to answer as many as I can. I will tell you, sometimes I'm busy. I see that somebody puts a question. I may forget to go back if I click on it and actually answer the questions. I definitely apologize if I've missed anybody's questions, but I do try to get to as many of them as possible. So if you got any questions about this bike or the other 3 bikes, just let me know. I will tell you at this point, I did get rid of the Apex. I had too many bikes sitting around. I had made a lot of videos about the Apex, and I just felt like with it being the lowest powered of the 3 bikes, the lowest voltage, the lowest amperage, I went ahead and sold that bike. And again, plan on getting some new bikes in the very near future. Now we will see if they make a higher voltage apex, higher wattage apex. I actually think I may have saw a rebranded apex that was 60 volts. I'm not 100% on that. I have seen the Fub King. I've seen some videos. I haven't actually seen it for sale anywhere yet, but I did see that the Fub King has a 60 volt version that they've been making videos about. So they are working on these bikes. They're modifying these bikes, increasing voltage, increasing wattage. Same with the FVKING E6. So I look forward to seeing a higher powered apex. I look forward to seeing a higher powered Fub King. And I really look forward to getting my hands on either the Coswheel R19 or the FVKING E6 very soon. I have pretty much been pin throttle this entire time as well, from start to finish, from when I left the house to where I'm at now. I did feel a little drag going up that last little hill, but it was pretty steep. The bike definitely slowed down a few miles an hour. It's slowing down on this hill. Pretty typical though. This is a hub drive motor. They're limited on torque. The Fub King is just such a comfortable bike to just throw a hand off the handlebars, sit back on this seat, rest an arm on a knee, and just cruise though. I am working on a new mic. I'll be getting a new mic as well. Probably a new helmet. This helmet, it's not really meant for the speeds I'm riding at most of the time. It leaks quite a bit of air. It puts some noise in the microphone. I've had some problems with microphone positioning in this helmet and just the cheaper microphones I've been using, so I will be looking into a new microphone as well. Hopefully get some better audio on the videos. Definitely suggest as well. I mean, I'm no professional. I don't ride in big cities. In a situation like that, I've got a car behind me. I know most people wouldn't want to stop, pull over, let them by. I'm going to let them by. I mean, I can't keep up with the speeds they're traveling on this bike. I'm not going to impede them and be a nuisance. I think people putting videos out there where these bikes are becoming a nuisance, where they're acting out, let's say, on these bikes. I don't think it's good for the bikes. I don't think it's good for the community. It draws too much attention. It's going to make law enforcement want to push more against the use of these bikes in the street. I don't want to see that happen. Of course, I'm in Oklahoma, but you see so many videos out in California about how much they're cracking down on e-bikes. It's such a fun pastime, a great hobby. I don't want to see it go away in any area. California, Oklahoma, Florida, wherever you're at. I think New York has some pretty heavy e-bike laws. Like, I don't want to see that anywhere. So, if you're out there, you're watching the video, I mean, be as respectful as you can. Some people may disagree with me on that. If you do, everybody's welcome to their opinion and their point of view. So we're about 10 miles into the trip. This is pin throttle. I'm seeing 48 volts. We're down 2 battery bars. On flat ground, I'm still at 36.5 miles an hour based on the speedometer. So, being down 2 battery bars, 10 miles in, pin throttle the entire time. I mean, I'll eventually get a range test done on this bike. But, I mean, obviously that's maybe not at full speed, but that's definitely telling me you're getting 25 miles, I would guess, out of this bike. If you're trail riding, not pin throttle the entire time, bicycle trail riding, maintaining a lower speed. I have noticed that the speed's dropped off here. Definitely tell the headlights not going to be great if it was pitch black out, if the sun had went completely down below the horizon. So anyway, I'm gonna probably end the video. I'm getting pretty close to the house. Again, I appreciate anybody watching the videos. I appreciate the interest. I appreciate the comments. Again, I'll do what I can with content, videos, new bikes. Like I said, there's no sponsorship here. None of these, all these bikes have been paid for by me. The next bike I get will be paid for, I'm sure. I'd love it if somebody sent a bike, but where do you have to get to that point to get people to send you bikes? Probably a lot further off in the future than what I may even ever make it to. But appreciate you all watching the videos. If you like the videos, you want to see more videos, definitely subscribe, comment, like the videos. It'll definitely help encourage to get out and make more videos. One of these real cold days, we may get out and see how this bike does when it's frigid temperatures. See how much it affects the power capability of the bike, the voltage. Hell, we may try to get one out if it snows at some point. Who knows? You all let me know what you think. You too. Have a nice night.